Hey, you all must have noticed the inequalities which are prevalent in our society. There are so many people who are living on the streets. Many have access to lot many privileges, but some do not even have the basic needs which are fulfilled. Such people, they do need the care and support of both the community and the government. So, hi and welcome to Knowledge is Fun 2020, where we are going to talk about these issues, that is, the management of support services, institutions, and programs which are run for the children, youth, and elderly. We'll be focusing about children, youth, and elderly. You must have seen children lying on the ground, on the streets, the elderly who have nobody to look after them, the youth who is embroiled in a fight or taken to some crime. So, we'll be talking about services, institutions, and programs which are needed for children, youth, and elderly. In this video, we'll talk about children. In the next one, we'll talk about youth, and in the final third part, we'll be dealing with elderly. The aspects involved in the management of institutions and programs, the knowledge base and skills which are required to manage and implement such programs, the career opportunities which are available to all of us in this particular field. Let's begin with the family because family is the basic unit of a society and one of its chief function is to look after the needs of its members. What is a family? A family comprises of a couple, a husband or a wife. Then you have the parents of those two people. The children are also involved. If it is a if it is an extended family, you can also have the siblings or other relatives of these people who are in this picture. Now, a family, along with other social structures like the school, hospitals, or the parks, malls, markets, we include all the other social structures, expected to meet the needs of all its members. But not all are so lucky. Many families in our country are even unable to meet the basic needs of all its members. By basic needs, I am only implying the medical facilities, the education facilities, home, food. Even these are not met for many family members. What could be the possible reasons? According to the Planning Commission of India in 2011-12, this is the data that was 10 years back. You can have a look about the poverty in India. Third of world's poor are staying in our country. That is, जितने भी गरीब लोग हैं पूरी दुनिया में, every third poor person is there living in our country. 29.5, that is around 30% of the people are living below national poverty line. This is a very common image which we have to see every day. Less than 30% have access to sanitation facilities. यहाँ पर at least you can see some sanitary building etc. ये भी नहीं होता है. Less than half the deliveries are conducted by trained attendants. Only less than half. मतलब half से ज़्यादा, more than half people, half children are born at home or by untrained professionals, which leads to high mortality rate. Less than half households consume iodized salt, leading to iodine deficiency, goiter, and low development of brain. So all this, it creates a very grim picture of our country, and we can see the standard of the children in our country. That is why they are also vulnerable. What do we mean by vulnerable? The word vulnerable refers to those persons, groups in a society which are more likely to be affected by adverse circumstances. जिनके ऊपर adverse circumstances ज़्यादा हैं, उसका impact भी ज़्यादा है. And on whom adverse circumstances are likely to have more harmful effect. अगर कोई भी adverse circumstances है, it can create long lasting impact on some groups. These groups are known as the vulnerable groups. If the needs of any individual is not met in the daily course of life, then that person becomes vulnerable. Generally, we talk about three groups which are vulnerable. The first is children, youth, and the elderly. The children, they are vulnerable because they are not able to take care of them. They are very immature. The adults, elderly are not able to take care of them because of their health problems. And the youth, because of the body changes, physical, social, mental changes undergoing, they are very vulnerable to going on the wrong path. First, we'll deal with why are children so vulnerable. Childhood is a period of rapid development in all domains, and development in one area it has its influence on the all the other areas. अगर एक छोटे बच्चे के साथ you have some negative impact, it's going to stay with him all lifelong, because 5 years तक you have 90% of the brain developed. So whatever impact is created on a child, it's bound to have an impact throughout his life. For optimal growth in all areas, it is very important that the child's need for food, health care, love, nurturance, shelter, and stimulation have to be met in a very holistic manner. All this is needed by a child, not just one. Adverse experiences, they can have a very long lasting impact on a child's development. तो एक भी कोई खराब इंसिडेंट उनके साथ होगा तो it's going to create an impact all through his life. All the children are vulnerable, but some are more vulnerable than others. The people who don't have family backing, they don't have any support, social security, they are more vulnerable than others. And living in such challenging and difficult circumstances, as we saw in the previous slide, when their basic needs are not being developed, they are not met, they are not able to reach their full potential, and basically we are wasting a whole generation. The present scenario in India, it will give you a very clear idea of what the scene is. You must have seen these images while going up and down the streets. Very common. Nearly two-thirds of the children under 5 suffer from moderate or severe malnutrition. Government is taking steps. They are distributing some tablets also, the midday meals, but it's not enough. 3 million children, they live on streets and they don't have any roof on them. तो हम जब घर जाते हैं, we have this cozy house, we have the roofs, the shelter. These children, they are devoid of all such things. Only 1 in 3 children of the preschool age is enrolled in an early learning program. तो 6 साल से कम के children, only 1 in 3 is going to any preschool system. Less than half the children between ages 6 to 14 years go to school. RTE Act आने के बाद भी only half the children are attending the school, and a little over only one third, they reach standard 8th. तो standard 1 में admission होता भी है तो most of them drop out. 2/3 of them drop out. 17 million children, they work, official estimates. This is after child labor is abolished in our country. It is banned. This is only the official figure, 17 million. World Bank कहता है कि there are around 44 million children in our country who have to work for their living, something we cannot even imagine. Now, to take care of these children, the Juvenile Justice Act was created in the year 2000, and it has been amended many a times. Now it is called Care and Protection of Child. Now, Juvenile Justice Act, this is the primary legal framework for juvenile justice in India. What do we mean by juveniles? The children who are below 18 years are known as juvenile. This act concerns itself with 2 categories of children. So this act, the Juvenile Justice Act, it deals with 2 categories. The first is the children who are in conflict with law. These are known as juvenile delinquents. And the second is in need of care and protection. So in conflict with law, जो young children, the adolescents, जो illegal रात काम करना शुरू कर देते हैं, and these are the children who are orphan, they have nobody to take care of them. So special approach towards the prevention and treatment of juvenile delinquents, and it also provides a framework for the treatment, protection and rehabilitation of such children. The aim is to provide care, protection and treatment by catering to their developmental needs, और इसमें they need to adopt child-friendly approach in adjudication and disposal of matters. The main thing is the interest of the children and their rehabilitation. This is the main motive. So what we have to keep in mind is the interest of these children and their rehabilitation. First, we'll talk about the children who are in conflict with law. These are the children who are caught by the police for violating the Indian Penal Code. IPC तो सुना होगा, पिक्चरों में भी बहुत बार देखा होगा, दफ़ा 302 IPC के तहत. So, under Indian Penal Code, arrested by the police, और इन्होंने कोई ऐसा काम किया है जो Indian Penal Code के according punishable है, accused of a crime. Now we come to the second category, the children in need of care and protection. These are the children basically who have no home or any means of sustenance. They have nobody to help them live. They are living with a person who is unfit to control over them. He could be a drunkard. He could be person who is physically unfit, no money. So any person who is unfit to control the child, chance of the child being killed, abused, or neglected. Many children are found in abusive relationships. Their life is at danger, physically and sexually also. Mentally or physically challenged children who have nobody to care for them, suffering from some incurable disease, and even when they are suffering from some incurable disease, nobody is there to look after them. They are abused, tortured, exploited for sexual abuse or illegal aids. आप न्यूज़ में देखो, so many observation homes, orphanages, they exploit children. They are inducted into drug abuse or trafficking. Victims of armed conflict, civil commotion और natural calamities. जो बच्चे इनमें से आते हैं, natural calamity, drought हो सकता है, flood हो सकता है, armed conflict जैसे अभी हो रहा था, borders पे होता है, rights. So victims, such children, abused or unconscionable gain. They are used for their the special gains of the adults. They are abandoned, for orphaned, trafficked minors, rescued from red light areas. I'm not even able to speak all these things, but these children, they have to undergo it. Child laborers rescued from the factories, lost, runaways, special needs, the kids who run away, who are lost, who are abducted for beggary, etc. The children of the prisoners who have nobody to care for them. So, for them, we need certain institution programs and initiatives. These institutions or programs, they are various activities which are carried by the government or the non-governmental organization. So both are included, the government also and the NGOs also, who are working for the betterment of our future generation. The first of the scheme is Integrated Child Development Scheme, that is the ICDS. You must have heard of it. We have been talking about it innumerable times, and it is a very important scheme which is run by the government of India. This is the world's largest early childhood program, world's largest, and it aims to meet the health, nutrition, stimulation, and early learning for the childhood. So it takes a holistic approach towards the needs of a child. The services which are provided under the ICDS are, it offers a six service package. So it has a six-pronged approach. It offers non-formal preschool education to children aged 3 to 6, matlab 3 to 6 education is also given. Immunization both for the pregnant ladies, lactating ladies, and the children. Nutrition, health, and hygiene education for the mothers. Supplementary nutrition for children below 6 years of age, pregnant and nursing mothers. And for example, vitamin A supplements, taking care of the nutrition during pregnancy, etc. Health checkups, growth monitoring of both the pregnant ladies, the lactating mothers, and the children. The referral services, if they are required, the children or the mothers, the pregnant ladies, are referred to the medical institutes or the authorities. The objectives of this ICDS are to improve the nutritional health status of the children in the age group of 0 to 6 years. If they have a healthy childhood, we can expect to have a healthy next generation. To lay the foundation for proper psychological, physical, and social development of the child, to reduce the mortality, morbidity, and malnutrition and school dropout. We discussed it. Mortality, 5 years से जो कम एज के बच्चे की डेथ हो जाती है. Morbidity, they are rendered morbid or they are not able to move. Malnutrition, we all know. To achieve effective coordination of the policy and implementation amongst various departments of child development. So ministry के जो अलग-अलग departments हैं, it also deals and creates harmony between all of them. To enhance capability of the mother to look after the health and nutritional needs of the child through proper nutrition. If a mother is healthy, we can expect a healthy baby also. The beneficiaries in this group are children from 0 to 6 years, the pregnant women, and the lactating mothers. It covers over 41 million children, and that is why it is the world's largest scheme. The service, child care centers named Anganwadi is the service delivery system. We have different Anganwadi in different districts, and these take care of the program, ICDS. The second such program is SOS Children Village. Now, this SOS Children Village, this organization is an independent and non-governmental organization not run by the government, and its approach is home to provide a home-like environment and long-term support which is given to a child up to the age of 24 years. तो ये youth के लिए भी है और children के लिए भी है. The SOS Children's Village, it basically has a 4-pillared approach. The first is the mother, then you have the brothers and sisters, the house, and finally the village. So SOS Children Village, they create a whole village here, and it begins with the basic unit of the mother. Every child has a caring parent. Family ties grow naturally because once you start living in a family with all these, the family ties grows. Each family creates its own home, and they have a home, and finally all these homes, they create a community. The vision is to provide family-based long-term care for the child who is no longer able to grow up with their biological families. It could be many reasons: orphaned, abandoned, any other. The working in each SOS home, a mother looks after 10 to 15 children. The unit, it lives like a family, and the children, they experience the relationships, love, help recovery from the traumatic events if they have happened in his life. The advantages of SOS Village are that the children, they grow in a family environment which is missing in ICDS or any other orphanages. They are supported till they become independent or they are 24 years of age. The families, they live together, and that is why a bonding is developed and they form a supportive village. Can you see this? It's an SOS village. All these are different homes, and each child gets a family and a house. They are integrated with the local community and contribute to the social life. It makes a complete village. Most of the times it is even self-reliant. It was founded in 1949 in Austria. The SOS Children Villages, it began in operation in India. Whenever any disaster strikes, like the Bhopal gas tragedy, cyclones, earthquake, tsunami, then the SOS villages, they rush to this area and they assist the children and rehabilitate them. It cares for 6,000 needy abandoned children in 40 such unique villages in India itself. Then we have children home which are run by the government. Remember, SOS was not run by government. Beneficiaries are 3 to 18 years old children who are there in state custody. जिनको गिरफ्तार कर लिया जाता है, उनको children home में रखा जाता है. There are 3 types of children homes, that is observation home, special homes, and juvenile children home. Observation home, children stay temporarily till the completion of an investigation to track down their parents and collect family information. अगर कोई बच्चा कहीं पर मिलता है तो जब तक the police or the investigating committee is not able to locate their family information, they stay in observation home. Special homes, the juveniles under 18 years of age who are found guilty in terms of violation of law are placed in custodial care. और finally आते हैं हमारे juvenile या children home, where the children whose family are not traceable at all, or the family is dead or unfit, or simply they have abandoned the child, are not willing to stay back, the children stay in children's homes. So observation home जिन्होंने crime किया है, special homes जिन्होंने crime किया है, special homes, observation homes जिनका investigation चल रहा है, and juvenile children home जिनको लेने वाला कोई है ही नहीं, कोई family नहीं है. The objectives of this children home is that government is responsible for providing room, boarding, education and vocational training to all the children in the country. This is run by government in partnership with many NGOs, and they aim at developing making the children skillful so that they become productive members of the society, are self-reliant, and are able to sustain them without violating law. Finally, we come to adoption. Adoption, you must have heard of adoption, I'm sure. Adoption is a practice where an adult assumes the role of a parent for a child who is not his biological offspring. हर फैमिली में पेरेंट्स अपने माता बच्चों को तो देखते ही हैं, दे आर द बायोलॉजिकल ऑफस्प्रिंग्स. बट जब एडल्ट किसी और के बच्चों का ध्यान रखते हैं एंड उनको अडॉप्ट कर लेते हैं अपने बच्चों की तरह, it is adoption. It generally involves legal paperwork because adoption is complete only after it is legal. The history India has a long tradition of adoption. कई सारे राजा महाराजाओं के टाइम में also रानी झांसी, she also adopted a boy. But earlier it was limited within a family or covered by social and religious practices. Family के अंदर ही होता था. But with changing types, adoption beyond the family, it has also been institutionalized and legalized. Which organization looks after adoption? The Government of India and the state government provide the necessary support and guidance in form of rules and policies and the programs. The non-government organizations, they provide the delivery. तो rules कौन बनाता है? Government of India. और इनको follow करके adoption का process कौन चलाता है? It could be the non-governmental organization. Adoption के जो rules हैं, to strengthen and facilitate adoption, the Government of India under the Supreme Court constituted a central agency, that is Central Adoption and Resource Agency, which is known as CARA, Central Adoption and Resource Agency, which sets the guideline for the adoption to safeguard the welfare and the rights of the child. ऐसा ना हो कि बच्चे को adopt करके उसको exploit किया जाए. So rules and guidelines are laid down by the government. I hope you have understood why the children, they need care, how the government is providing it, and I'm sure that we can also contribute to it in one way or the other. If you have liked it, do comment, gives it the thumbs up. Thanks for watching and see you with the next part talking about the youth. Till then, bye bye.